everybody, welcome to Expansion Pass here on Boss Push Network. I'm your host and Latte Insider Eddie V. Joining me, special guest, returning. You guys know that when this guy comes on and it's just me and him, you are in for a roller coaster of discussion because I love this guy. I, just think he is everything. Truly just humble, so heartwarming. He makes me feel better on days when, he's showing the game or talking about a book, and just his energy is so great. Everybody, please welcome the one, the only, the luxurious Mr. Austin Campbell. Hello, good sir.
I'm half wanting you to keep going, half wanting you to calm down a little bit. You're talking me too high up. The people are going to be the people know what they're getting from me now. It's
I get Austin. I so much love your energy. I love even when we debate and things. We have our own opinion about stuff.
Yeah.
There's still a love and there's just still, a respect level. So thank you for coming on the show. Have this discussion with me.
I'm very happy that I can be on. I'm very excited. Every time I get a text from you or Corey about being on, I get very excited. I get very upset if I don't get to come on, which is sometimes. So very excited that this week worked out. And I'm ready to go. I'm ready to talk about whatever. I haven't talked about video games in a while. I'm taking classes off because of reflection.
Well, it's so everybody, this one is kind of going to be a free forming one, but this past week, people have been talking about BioShock recently. I think it's this 20th anniversary that just happened this past Wednesday, and I know Corey has his thoughts about it. I know me and you talked about it, and I know people have been wondering what's happening to Ken Levine's Judas game, and I kind of just wonder, what are your thoughts about games like BioShock, and why do you think it hasn't been recreated? What is something about a game like this, like BioShock, that that just feels original, and no one has done it justice or brought that feeling back?
Man, I feel hypocritical talking about that because we've had, we had the System Shock remaster recently.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which is where, BioShock really gets its stuff, where it gets its roots from, is the System Shock. And I didn't play it. And then we had Atomic Heart, which kind of had that BioShock Infinite vibes, and I didn't play that one either. So I don't particularly know if I just want more games like BioShock or if I just really like BioShock itself. To me, I understand if you're going into BioShock for the game itself, and you don't care about story, or you're not trying to extract as much from it as you can as far as that, as far as the world building goes and stuff like that, I think you might leave pretty disappointed just because it is old. It plays like a PS3 shooter, Xbox 360 type shooter. It's very simple. The puzzle mini game for the hacking is very repetitive and kind of boring. I don't like doing it when I do replays. I'm just kind of I'm over this. But the beauty of it is really into the superpowers that you have, the super abilities that you have, and stuff like that. But as far as to me, it's really I like BioShock 2, but I'm more interested what Ken Levine's take on his world than I am the world itself. So BioShock 2 is always kind of my least favorite, and I think it might actually be a better game. It has more replayability, has the multiplayer mode that some people kind of like. But
Yes.
to me, it was more about the story and stuff. And while it is a good story, it's a decent story. To me, it didn't have that like extra flair to it, extra curiosity. To me, Ken Levine, the fact that he's made so few games makes it more interesting when he's involved, you know. And so, while there are games that that give off those vibes, like a BioShock type
Yeah.
vibe. Like Dishonored is another one, which I tried Dishonored, and I don't like stealth games. That's my biggest problem. I would really like to get more into Dishonored because I think I would really enjoy like the story, the world and stuff. But the stealth is just like so irritating to me. I'm not good at them. I'm not good at stealth games, and that's mainly it. But I feel like there's plenty of games that try to give that vibe, and I think the problem is anytime a game does try to bring that vibe, they're just going to immediately get compared to BioShock, and then it's
Yeah.
like, all right, well, this is another game like BioShock. Instead of letting it be its own thing, um, a game like uh, a game that I really like that I think people could look at is Prey. I think Prey,
Mm.
the remake, or reboot or whatever you want to call it, was the closest thing I've got to a game that made me feel like BioShock because the first person mode, the abilities that you have, it's way more involved as far as like mechanics wise that you can do with the mimic system and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
the idea of you being enclosured on this spaceship, being you're going to be traveling all the weird stuff that's going on. It's tricking you into thinking one way, like, oh, in a normal game I should be doing this, and then immediately it's like, nope, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. Like that kind of stuff is really interesting to me, and I think that's the closest that I've gotten from for like a BioShock vibe with Prey personally. So,
Okay. I I think the reason I asked that question is because I feel like there are just certain games that, depending on like who the creator is involved,
mhm.
sometimes that first game or something about it feels original and it cannot be like duplicate, like,
Mhm.
or it it can't be recaptured again when somebody else is like, they know the spirit of the game being made, but they can't bring recapture that spirit again until they make something of their own.
Mhm.
Like God of War was kind of that way when I think God of War 1 came out. God of War 2 and 3 were good and everything, but it really felt like God of War 4 was Santa Monica's what's his name? Kind of like baby in a sense. Like
Yeah,
it really felt like his idea
yeah.
for it.
Well, like because God of War 2 and 3 was really just trying to build on what David Jaffe did on the first one,
Yes.
and then God of War 4 is like, I'm gonna take your characters, your really your one character Kratos, and put
Right.
him in a different situation, different world, different games going on, um, and make it like totally different, but also still pay homage to the old God of Wars. As if you've played God of War 4, um, I won't spoil anything here, but that pays homage to the old games as well. But it really is its own thing. Like to me, my wife has watched me play God of War 4, and it's like you you watch this God of War, and then if I showed you old God of War, it's like two totally different things. Like you see Kratos, but he looks more jacked in God of War 4. He's got the dad thing going on in God of War 4. He looks
Yeah.
more even tempered. He's even tempered. God of War 1, he's just like angry all the time. He's like he's like Incredible Hulk, he's like mad, and stuff. So it's it is interesting. I really am curious what 2K is gonna do with BioShock. If they ever make a game that's on their own, Because I think Steve Gaynor, when he did 2, he was trying to also kind of do the same thing where he's trying to pay homage to really try to just build upon what the first game was. But
Mm.
weirdly enough, it was Ken Levine with Infinite that like, no, we're gonna take what I built in BioShock 1 and we're gonna redo it. He like did his own version of God of War 4 was Infinite, except he did it to himself, where it's totally different, but it is this, it is like got a lot of the same qualities that you like from the original BioShock. So um,
And just to let everybody know, Cory Barlog, he did 2, 3, and 4.
yeah,
Like he's like in
Corey.
charge of it. And I will say, and this is not a knock against Cory Barlog, because
Mhm.
I think as much as David Jaffe has done with the franchise, with just that one game, I think Cory Barlog has taken it in a better direction with the games.
Mhm.
I at this point in time, I really don't know what David Jaffe would have took the God of War series with it
He's
if he stayed with
he's
it.
he's said before what like different things he wanted to do, and I was like, I'm kind of glad that he did not. He did not have. He just kind of let it go.
Mm,
Which he said he. I don't want to quote unquote say what he said because I'm paraphrasing here, but it sounded like he just kind of wanted to be done with God of War. But if he was to do it, this is how he would do it. And I was like, I don't like that. I like Corey Barlog. I can't believe we forgot Corey's name. You know, I mean, Corey should be
mm,
an easy name to remember. But and I agree. I personally like. I really like God of War 1, but I really think 3 and 4 are my favorites because 3 is just like we're gonna make the coolest boss levels, what I really dig in the God of War games is the boss levels,
yeah,
and then 4 was just like doing its whole totally different thing, which I like as well. So I have yet to play Ragnarok. It's it's on my list. It's on
it
my never ending list of games. So
it's
I'll get to it eventually.
it's it's good. I would say that.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not knocking Ragnarok. I have my um opinion about that game. Um, yeah, there's just some problems with it. Flow wise, um, with
Gameplay or
uh,
story?
uh, that- not
Is it
not
like
so
a
much the
pacing
gameplay.
issue or is it a
It's not so much a pacing. I mean, yeah, it is a pacing issue. It's like I say, flow wise. I think the way that I feel like the game has no direction in a sense, and there's
mm,
so much jumping around.
mm,
It really feels like a creative writing piece being made up. Like everything is being improv on the fly. Um,
mm,
but that's just my personal opinion.
I
I
got
think
you.
the game doesn't. I did think the game doesn't get interesting until Kratos gets a certain weapon, and then I'll be like, "Oh, this particular weapon makes the game better compared to these two weapons." So I won't say what it
I
is.
I think people feel the same way about the God of War 4. They like it. They like it a lot more once you get the weapons. So certain weapons.
Yeah,
So, but I'm trying to think of a game that's kind of like that, where it's just like the story's like I watched this video of the South Park guys talking
mm,
about what good story writing is, and it's funny coming from South Park guys, but I think they are pretty good at making up stories. Is you never want to have like a story where to lead to the next part you go and then you don't want to do that. That's boring and it doesn't make any sense. You want to be this happens because this happens, therefore this happens. So this happens because of this. And instead of going and just keep giving you different things that keep happening, you're actually
yeah.
connecting all those things together, which sounds like maybe that might have been what the problem was as far as Ragnarok goes. Maybe that's, but um, I'm trying to think of a game where the story just felt like, all right, all right, we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna keep adding things. I haven't played one like that in a while. I can think of.
Yeah, it's kind of. I think it when a game feel when a story idea feel like stuff is being thrown together. I think when they're like changing a lot of stuff and it doesn't play off at the end in a
Mm,
sense. And I'm not saying Ragnarok does the same thing, but I understand why they went in this direction. It just feels like a jumble mess at times.
mm,
Um, and it's just like okay, so what is this adventure? Because this is it's different than what previous games are, definitely than what God of War 4 is. But I just feel like you know what, another game that does this is Horizon Forgotten Worlds.
I was actually about to bring up the same thing. Forbidden West, Horizon Forbidden West
Forbidden West.
does this kind of
Yes.
idea, and I think a lot of it has to
Forgotten
deal with.
Worlds. Oh goodness, Capcom.
I think a lot of it has to deal with, for me, for Forbidden West, is the side quest stuff. Just
Hmm.
all the open world, open world games that have side quests, but usually all the
Yes.
side quests like coincide with certain things that are going on at the time. It just feels like all the side quests are just like, all right, Aloy's gonna have an adventure with this person now, and this person now, and this person now, and it's like by the time you get going on some of this stuff, it's like, what are we doing again? Like I remember finishing Forbidden West, and I was just like, all right, so that happened, and I feel like I feel like I don't know, something didn't click with me on Forbidden West, and there's a lot of stuff that's like, all right, I guess I'll accept this. I'll accept this, but I don't really like it. I don't, I don't,
I
I feel like there's a lot of big reveals that we're just kind of like throwing out there, and then we're making a lot of little things a big deal.
I think I think with Forbidden West was the fact that Aloy kept saying, "Well, I had to do it. No one else can do it. I had," and it just felt like every section that she moved onto, she always felt like it was her responsibility. And it's just like,
Yeah,
okay, this trope is getting old. I'm at this fourth part of the game, and she's doing the same trope, and it's getting old. It's not making the story any better. We know that she's on a quest to do this. You don't have to
yeah.
use that line. And I just feel like, is this gonna be for the 40 plus hours that I'm gonna play this game? And because I haven't finished Forbidden West, I need to
Mm.
get back into it. I gotta get my PlayStation 4 and get back into it. Actually, I still gotta get my PlayStation 5 Pro. Um, it's just that, yeah, that thing was just like you had a strong game with the first one, but the second game is just it's missing the mark for me, and I think it's because of the flow of the story and hearing her saying, I gotta do it myself and everything,
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, we get the point. You don't have to say that. Because to me, in,
yeah.
in in a sense, that's like almost bad writing. If you keep repeating the same thing over and over, like nothing changes.
Do you mind if I spoil a little bit as far
Go
as
ahead.
so so I agree. The first game I think was personally for me I liked more because it just felt like a tighter experience. Felt like the side quests just go along with those areas, and then you just
Hmm.
keep going through the story. You keep going. Everything kind of pretty much made sense and kept so. And I actually liked in the first game where she was more like, I'm on a mission to do this. This is what I'm supposed to do. I don't really have time for anything else, which is why all the side quests that came in, it all, help the story keep going. Help the story keep going. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, this makes sense why we're doing this now. The second game, I don't know if they were just like they went half-hearted, where Aloy is trying to care about others, she's
Yes.
like got kind of friends, but really she's like, I got a mission to do. I'm trying to save the world here. I'm okay with her being that way, but you can't have her kind of be like wishy-washy. Like you, where she's
Yes.
like, "Oh yes, I care about people, but also I have a mission I gotta do. I got a mission I gotta do." And it's like, no, do you care about these people or not? do you want these people to help you or not? It just felt, and then in the DLC, I feel like they heard enough complaints about her being that way that they try to give her a relationship option in the
Yeah.
DLC. And it's like, all right, so if I'm Aloy and all I care about is this mission in life, I don't have time for a relationship. What are you doing? That's why you treat everybody the same way. Like, it's funny, like in Forbidden West, everyone is in love with Aloy. Everyone wants to be with Aloy. Like, all the guys, all the girls, everyone is just like all into Aloy. And she's like, I don't care about anyone. And then the DLC, they try to give her this relationship option. I'm like, I don't I don't mind Aloy having a relationship, but like I don't really want her to because this whole time she's been just like to everybody else. She's like, I've got a mission to do. I'm trying to save the world here. So it just feels like they don't know even what to do with her anymore. You know, the first game it just felt like I'm Aloy, I'm a badass, I'm gonna take over. You know, I gotta do what I gotta do. Second one's like feelings got involved, it's complicating things, but you think you have to do it all by yourself, but I mean clearly you can't. So there's way too much going on. So I don't know, it just feels like they kind of like lost the plot a little bit. Like they don't even know what to do with her anymore.
I think that's why. I, I think that's why a lot of people have harsh opinions, and I'm doing that with a big H about Metroid Other M, and then this
Mm,
praise and love for Metroid Dread because of Samus herself. You
mhm.
know, Team Ninja and the crew who did Metroid Other M, they were trying to give some humanity to Samus. They were trying to give her a story. They were trying to give her emotions. How, you know, sometimes you see an enemy and it affects you, your mental capacity. And I think a lot of people didn't get that because
Mm,
of the way we play Metroid games. You know, we
yeah.
don't really get a narrative for
Mhm,
Samus where,
mhm.
you know, if you play Metroid to even Super Metroid, there is no story for all of those for those three games. You know what you get a sense of what the plot is, but you don't really get an understanding of how Samus is actually feeling. You don't actually, you know, get some kind of narrative to, you know, if it feels like a mystery, what to expect, if there's any clues or anything. And when Metro Other M came, you know, you actually got a story. You got you got some narration, you got characters that you would care about or not care about, you got, you know, voice acting to showcase and bring these characters to life, you know, um regardless of how you take it and everything. And when Metro Future came out, we got somewhat of a linear story and we got some dialogue, but we didn't really understand what was really going on into that game until like almost Metroid Other M, until you got a better understanding of who Samus was talking about. Then you get Metroid Dread
Mhm.
and you get that balance of, you know, action. You get that balance of a story, like a narrative, and still stuff being mysterious until you get to the final
Yeah.
end. You know,
Mhm.
and I think that's why when you think of games like that, I think with the original get, you know, the original question being like, are there games that's just like, in the sense like when they originally came out and stuff, there's nothing that's like that or stuff like, you know, things like that. And with Metroid, that that game was always changing. There is a similar direction on how to go about that game. Same with the Castlevania games and stuff, or any
Mhm.
Metroidvania in that sense. But there's different, that execution is different in almost every game. In a sense,
Mhm.
there's something that's added on. I think that's why when you play the Legend of Zelda just as a series, each game is going to be different, and
Yeah.
you got to realize that they're part of the series, or I would say one third of the series is Miyamoto's, another third is Anuma's. Um, sorry, I got to see who's kind of over like kind of doing the Legend of Zelda not Wind Waker, Breath of the Wild stuff. But what are your thoughts, um, Austin?
And there's some games that there's some series like Zelda where the differences, like to me, Zelda, if Zelda were to do what they did in the original Zelda game and just kept doing that over and over again, it wouldn't
Mhm.
have the same effect as it does now. Like, it wouldn't be this beloved classic, I think, because every person, like, to me, you ask Zelda fans, what is your favorite Zelda? Everyone has a totally different answer for totally different reasons, and
Mhm.
everyone has like Zeldas they hate, everyone has Zeldas they love. Everyone thinks you either think Ocarina of Time is the greatest, or you think it's overrated. You think Majora's Mask is a side sequel fetch quest, or you think Majora's Mask is wonderful. Everyone's totally different. Whereas, like, I think of games like Doom. Like, I don't want Doom to change at all. If Doom try to give me this, like, if it's not about crazy guns killing demons, I don't
Right.
know if I really want to play a Doom game. Because what if you had a Doom game where it's like, all right, we're gonna give Doom guy PTSD, and every time he tries to kill a demon, it haunts him and stuff. I'm like, no, no, no. I mean, you could do that with a different game, but don't do it with Doom. Doom guy is just here to kill demons and then go home. That's that's all I
Right.
really want. So there's different series where you want things to change, and there's some series like you want it to stay the same. Like, I'm thinking, and you want to pay homage to what's going on. You don't want to just like drastically change something. Like, if they like did BioShock 4, right? And then they're like, all right, there are going to be hordes of enemies. You're going to see numbers flying off of the enemies, like Borderlands, and you're gonna have crazy weapons. I'm like, well, this isn't Bioshock anymore. What are we doing here? Like, you
Yeah.
just took whatever you liked from it and slapped on a bunch of different stuff. Make a different game at that point. But that I just think there's like there's some games where there's no, and weirdly enough, a game like Doom, where we've seen so many like first person shooters come out and do their own thing, there's still nothing
Yes.
quite like Doom. You have your Shadow Warrior games that are kind of like Doom like, but it's still not Doom. You have
Oh yeah.
Wolfenstein, but it's not Doom. You have like all these crazy shooters, but they're not Doom. The crazy shooters that are not Wolfenstein. They're
Yeah.
they're totally different. And they could try, but they're not gonna, like, to me. What, I think it's Shadow Warrior. Have you ever played those games? They're kind of like Doom games.
Yeah.
So those games, they do like the Doom combat, but the guy is hilarious. I only played Shadow Warrior 3, so I'm not claiming to be yeah, Shadow Warrior. That guy is hilarious. He's just like constantly talking crap. He's like killing enemies. He's got weird. It's kind of like Yakuza. It's got like a lot of
Yeah.
Yakuza weirdness into it and stuff. Japanese flair into it, and that's great because that differentiates itself from Doom, where Doom is just Doom and Duke Nukem. Like, those are just games that
Yeah.
that you know what you're getting into them. So um,
Which
I like.
which is why. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I just like I like, and maybe that's just like me. Who am I to play as judge of what games
Mhm.
should differentiate themselves and what games should not? But I like games that stay the same, and I like games that constantly are changing their style and stuff. So Warhammer being another thing. Like Warhammer, there's so many Warhammer games, and they're all completely like different. And
Yeah.
I don't even you say a Warhammer title, and I'm like, I don't know which one that is, but I like I like some of them. So
So, the person for the Legend of Zelda, the director now is Hidemaru Fujibayashi. He directed Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom, and he formerly worked at Capcom. I just looked up this Wikipedia, and this is an interesting thing, and we'll probably talk about it sometime in the future with the Legend of Zelda. I think when you ask now, when you think about it, you could ask, "What is your favorite Zelda games?" You'd be like, "What is your favorite Zelda from Miyamoto? What is your favorite from Anuma, and what is your favorite from Fujibayashi?" Because if you think of Fujibayashi, you're gonna say probably most people are gonna say Breath of the Wild. If you're gonna say Anuma, you have Ocarina of Time, you have Majora's Mask, you have Twilight Princess, you have Wind Waker. Those are
mm,
four games from him and his team. Those are major. But if you got to choose one of them, most people will probably go with Wind Waker. Most people will probably go with Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess, which just have to battle it out for it. But if you go with Miyamoto, you probably going to just automatically say, well, of course, The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Like, of
yeah,
course, some people love two, definitely love one, but I'm like, you're not doing dungeon design and boss design like Link to the Past. Link to the Past is one of the games, one of the top down Zelda games that a lot of indie developers model their action adventure games around. So it's
mm,
just like it's kind of amazing to see when it comes to which Zelda game is the best. You kind of like, man, the choices are great to make, and I'm not even including um the handheld ones, like the Capcom ones, and
yeah.
um Link Between Worlds. So like, I'm not even including those because those will be added to the
Yeah,
conversation
I was gonna say
too.
that's a whole other thing. If you add all the all the handheld games, which are some of
Yeah,
my favorites, that you're getting to a whole bunch of different things.
right. And so it's just like with the directors that is on, like with the directors that is with the Legend of Zelda, they all three have equal space. It all came in with creative ideas. Now, Onuma
Yeah.
is a producer on it, but Miyamoto still has some say in it.
Hmm.
And he's probably getting his hands on. I think that's why I talk about Pikmin 4, and I think Pikmin 4 is kind of the best out of the series. Um, it's because Pikmin 4 feels like a Zelda game with dungeons in it. And when you I guess when you haven't felt a game designed by Miyamoto that from the past, and you just don't recognize his creativity or his input in the game, it feels weird when you do encounter it. Because it's like that, and I think that's why with BioShock, um, with Ken Levine, that uh, that you feel that originality, you feel those ideas, and it's hard feeling them in any other game that wasn't designed by him. Same with God of War. Yes, David Jaffe did something, but I'm just like, now when you feel God of War, you feel Cory Barlog's God of War, and it's kind of
Mm,
even hard to recognize David Jaffe's design in a
yeah.
sense because Cory Barlog has put so much input to it. You'll be like, well, what is the best God of War? And surprisingly, I don't know how the conversations or people's answers would go, but like if I personally have to say it, I think God of War 4 is probably the best.
Ooh, it's either three or four for me.
And and the reason why I go with, I would say with 4, it's because of the strong narrative of the
Mhm.
cinematic experience of the funny bits. Some of the action is really good, but God of War 4 really feels like it was built up from the ground up by Cory Barlog on that team, and it really feels like it's this idea of what God of War really can be. And I'm not saying that 2 and 3 are not are not great games, but those games kind of feel like we're trying to continue the lineage of one of the David Jaffe idea, but we're just
Mhm.
the directors, and it just doesn't feel in that sense. God of War 2 is a better look. God of War 2 is a better game than God of War 1 in
It is.
so many ways. Trust me.
Weirdly enough, it's probably my least favorite of them all, but it is better than one. Like I give it, I like if
Mhm.
I had to rank them, I probably put two below three, four, and one for me. But that's because one was just like that original thing, but two is a better
Yes.
game. There's no doubt about that.
Yes. And so it's kind of those things that, and I haven't fully played all of BioShock 2. I have the collection. I do want to go back and play. But I think like when I played BioShock Infinite, that should be it, right? When it was in the sky.
Mhm.
Um
Yeah.
I understand what Ken Levine was trying to go for, but it lost this magic for some reason. And I think I was just like, I'm I kind of feel like, and this may be a me thing, and I think that's a
Mhm.
game that I need to revisit because I feel like I must be playing this game wrong. Because I think I tried to play it as like a continuation of Bioshock in its execution, but I think there's something missing in this game that I miss. Cause I love the introduction of Infinite. I love when they, just how you think that this world is so great and it's so grand, but then you start seeing all the problems that come along with it. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
what am I missing? And I think there's something in the gameplay. It's something about Bioshock Infinite that I am missing. And I
If it's
don't
game,
know why.
if it's gameplay, most people will tell
Mhm.
you do not play it like a shooter. Use your vigors more. Like use the special abilities and use the gun as like the secondary. Like most people will use the gun primary and your powers as secondary. But people are
And
like, if
I
you don't
think
really like combat, do it the opposite, which is weird, but it does make sense.
which I think was the problem that I think I had, because with Bioshock, I barely use any of the powers. I mean, I saved all the
Yeah.
girls. I got the best ending in
Yeah.
Bioshock, and I think the reason why that one felt more like a shooter, and not like something that's creative using the powers. There was something about that game, about Bioshock, that I think I'm like, the narrative is strong with there. I know there's going to be some twisted turns, um, but I'm like, there's something that I'm not connecting, that I'm missing. So I think what I learned from Bioshock, I think I carried over into Bioshock Infinite, and I'm like, oh no, I'm playing this game wrong. And I got to the last, I got to the not, I didn't beat Bioshock. I got to that final battle. I guess it's on the ship or whatever, and I hate that fight. Uh, and it feels
Oh,
like,
Bioshock
oh,
on Bioshock Infinite. You're talking
Infinite,
about
yeah,
well,
yeah.
I'll be honest, that that fight is terrible because they literally just throw so many enemies at you. It's just
And
like
they're more,
have
it is,
fun.
and it just feels like they're more powerful than you. I'm like, what
Yeah.
am I doing wrong? Because
Yeah. They
I have no I have no chance to defend my, I don't have no chance to run around and try to defend myself. Um, it just felt like, okay, I'm playing this game. I get to this ending part, this final battle. Spoiler, everybody, and it just feels unfair. Like the difficulty ramped up, and I'm like, what did
yeah.
I do wrong throughout this whole game? I'm like,
Yeah.
did I miss something? And it's so weird. And I guess that's
It,
not just
it
like, go ahead.
it definitely plays like you should have been saving all of your stuff the whole time. Like if you felt like, oh, I have plenty of ammo, I have plenty of powers, like the whole game, And then
Mm-hmm.
if you were just like kind of loose with it, didn't really care, wasn't saving anything up, if you get to that fight and you didn't save anything up, well, now you're definitely going to need everything. It's like, I think that's a common complaint about that game. I don't think you're the only one for that. And me personally, I think the same way. I know now that when I play the game, you better save all your stuff, get ready for it. Don't, because if you got a lot of stuff, like it's like a Resident Evil game. Like imagine a Resident Evil game.
Mm-hmm.
They just keep supplying you with so much stuff. And you're like, oh, I don't have to worry about missing shots or anything on a zombie or whatever. No big deal. But then let's say it's like, all right, we're going to put 4 giant monsters in here. Hopefully you saved up that whole time. Hopefully you were saving your ammo that whole time. You're like, wait a minute, what game is this? This is like a whole different game now that I need all this ammo for. It's like you should be having the ammo for a Doom game all of a sudden. Like it's because you didn't save anything. So I can see that being an issue. And that I think that's a lot of people's least favorite part of that game. And that is my favorite, like 1 and Infinite are my favorite games of all time. If you ask me on a certain day, I will say Infinite is my favorite game. That's a big complaint, and I understand it. Like Infinite, I don't know if Infinite's really a better game than 1. It definitely plays better than 1, but I just personally love that story so much that I just
And
like it
and don't
rides
get me wrong, BioShock Infinite story is strong.
Yeah.
BioShock story is very strong. Both of those games are strong, but there's just something missing in Infinite, I think personally for me. And I think it's time for me to do a replay to be like, you know what, I'm gonna throw BioShock on easy, go through that game. I'm gonna throw BioShock Infinite on easy and go through that game and see what I miss and everything. And I can do easy on BioShock. So, like I don't know. I'm talking about the challenge, everybody. I'm doing it on easy, so to see what did I miss.
As I've gotten older, easy mode there's no problem with easy mode, man. Just play the way you want to play. I don't have time to like bash my head against the wall on certain things. Weirdly enough, I just thought of it. There's a game I recently played near Automata that I felt the same way. I played most of that game like, this is kind of easy. Like, I feel like this is really easy. I always feel like I'm over leveled. And then at the very end, I'm like, what the heck? This just got like extremely hard out of nowhere. What the heck? So I definitely I can feel that pain. But yeah. Near Automata, great game, by the way.
Very good. Yes. I own it on PlayStation 4. I think I need to get it on Series X, but I also got the Switch version for it. Well, everybody.
Well, one more thing.
Oh, go ahead.
We talked about God of War. I just learned about this game. Have you heard of the game Captain Blood?
No, I never heard of it.
So, I was watching a Game Ranks YouTube video, and he was talking. Shout out to Falcon. I really like Falcon on there. He was doing a list of 10 modern games, so games that have come out pretty recently that feel like 2000s games. And number 1 on his list was this game called Captain Blood, which is not out yet. It's got a demo out on at least PC. I don't know about everything else yet. It's coming to Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series S, according to the wiki page. So this game has been in development since 2003. It was, let's see, when did it get so in June 2008, a trailer was released and media outlets were able to play the game. A website launched in July 2010. Then around the same time, PlayLogic declared bankruptcy and underwent restructuring. And then after 10 years of inactivity, the full 1.0 version of the game was leaked online and made available on torrent sites. So this game has been in like development hell for. So the game was set to be released in 2006 on PC and Xbox. I guess it was an Xbox timed exclusive, and then moved to the 360. So since 2006, this game was supposed to be released. It's getting released in May, And if you look up the game Captain Blood and you watch it, it looks exactly like God of War but pirates. Like it looks it looks like God of War, plays like God of War. You have there's coins coming out instead of the souls. He's got all the like crazy. You gotta look up this game, man. It's pretty. It was like watching it. It was like this is very interesting, and the story behind it is insane. I mean, they've been working on it for 19 plus years, and they're gonna release it.
Where's the studio at?
Let's see. The studio is the developers are Seawolf Studio, General Arcade. Their wiki page doesn't have a link to it, so I don't really know what else they've worked on. Um, and then it's being published by SNEG, which I also am not familiar with.
It's like, who financed this game? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. It's and maybe they have like maybe they have like a GoFundMe type thing since it was leaked and people torrented it. So, but
okay, I'm seeing a trailer that says IGN. It seems like this white man in a white shirt, uh, his hair over his eye. Captain Blood. He got muscles.
oh yeah, you're on the right track.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, the way that I'm looking at it, uh, there's melee combat, but it seems to be all close. So I'm assuming there's ship combat in it. Yeah, he has the gun. Okay. Yeah, he just grabbed somebody's axe and put it in his. Okay, so it was supposed to be out in fall of 2024.
Yeah, and they pushed it back because after after 15 plus years, what's another 6 months?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely. He said this is the most 2000s games because it was literally made. They were literally making this in the 2000s, and it looks pretty cool. I'm intrigued to play it. I not gonna get my hopes up over it or anything, but it is a very interesting game. I'm very very interested to play it when it does come out. As I love.
So they got. It seems they got like a 32-minute gameplay.
Yeah. So supposedly, I don't know about everything else. I meant to look it up and see if it was on the PlayStation Store, but at this recording, they just came back up. PSN been down for 16 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
So I meant to look it up and see if there's a demo on the PlayStation Store, but I know for sure it's on PC at this current time. So we just talked about God of War, so I was like, "Oh yeah, I gotta ask Ed about this game if he's heard about this game because this was new to me. I didn't know anything about it."
Dude, I'm still trying to recover Platinum Games and Team Ninja coming together to make Ninja God of 4. Like, I literally was driving when I heard this, and I screamed out my car, "Wait, what?" Because Itagaki and Kamiya don't really like each other in a sense, and now that both of them are away from each place of business,
Yeah.
Team Ninja now is working with Platinum Games, so they kind of recognize each other's design and come together to make Ninja Gaiden 4, and it looks amazing.
Yeah. I'm not a Ninja Gaiden person. I appreciate him, but yeah, I was that was like and that's one of those deals, those are those kind of matchups that like Team Ninja and Platinum Games, okay, perfect. Sounds great. Sounds like a great combination.
Right.
It'd be like EA and PlayStation making a games of service game. It'd be a wonderful matchup. Be a great matchup together. They can do it.
No, it would not. Everybody would be like, "What is this trash? What is this questionable content?"
It could have been the greatest game ever, and no one would be like, "No, we ain't trusting that again." EA, PlayStation, no way. We're not doing a game of service. No more. No more.
Yes. Well, Austin, thank you for this discussion.
course.
Let us know, guys. Is there a game that you feel like when it came out, it was so original that it couldn't be replicated? No one else could do what they made. We literally would like to know. So, you could let us know on our Twitter at Boss Rush Network, or come join us on the Discord and let us know. Come talk to us and everything. But then, everybody, have a great week, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time on Expansion Pass. Bye, everybody.
Later, guys.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.